The last 25 years and counting, the conversation around the need to strengthen Nigeria's democracy has continued to be increasingly vehement. As a matter of fact, one administration after another, it appears to a large extent the focus is how to deepen the country's democratic experience. However, in the last couple of years, we've seen elements reared their heads as threats to this, if you like, new-found love that Nigeria has been experiencing since 1999. A few weeks ago, there had been reports of a possible coup attempt that failed, and today we realize that that in itself has become one of several talking points in our dear nation. Just about 24 hours ago, news broke that a certain young man who had been tweeting what you might want to call matters of national security has now been charged by the Department of State Services for what they say is not just anti-government, but against the Nigerian state. What exactly are we dealing with for a country that's on the verge, in some sense, of a general cycle of elections, particularly given that the incumbent president himself will, from all indications today, throw his hat in the ring as far as this next round of polls are concerned? To help us find sense in this conversation, I'm joined by Professor Ibrahim Abubakar, is Global Television Political and Security Analyst. Prof, I'd like to say a big thank you to you for coming on the program today.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so let's begin by looking at, first of all, this democratic journey that we've been on. You can't have democracy run smoothly, hitch-free, in an atmosphere of rancor, in a situation where insecurity poses so much of threats. At some point, almost an existential threat to the same democratic journey. What exactly is driving this tension that we're dealing with?
Oh, well, in several of my discussed on issue related to security, I've talked normally about professionalism. When professionals are not handling some tools of a subject, it becomes a failure. So what they are doing, because they are not professionals, is just eye service. There must be a reason for people to agitate, and there is a reason for raccoons to happen. And if you want to look at it, the first chapter of the war in administration of human is, first of all, adequate security. And when you provide adequate security, it makes the system run on its own. And when that satisfaction is not there, you start to see how disintegration, disunity, disaffection start creeping in. And that is where we are today. We're more working not for the people, but giving service to individuals, which is self-centered. And you find out that in doing so, the people will try to distance themselves from the administrators and the managers. So a lot of people now distance themselves from the administrators and the managers. That is where we are.
The other time we were hearing rumors about, or if you like, we write stories, reports about coup and so on and so forth. Some people say, well, it was probably a gimmick by the government of the day to distract from other salient issues around the economy, the social life of citizens, and all of that. There are also those who say that this could have happened, especially giving reports about certain officers, soldiers in particular, who were said to have been detained over the same issue, and a certain former governor from the south part of the country now being declared wanted, his house raided, which has also been confirmed by the authorities, and all of that. Is it possible to understand the dynamics around this?
Well, to me, the 16 officers under interrogation or whatever, if you look at it very well, let's outline these 16 officers. None of them has 10 officers in their command. None of them is a platoon leader. None of them is a brigade commander. None of them controls any battalion. So when you say officers are planning or plotting a coup, you should have looked at the credentials of those officers. Do they have any troop they command? You understand? So this is where the message comes from. Let us not, what has happened in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, cannot happen now.
Why?
Nigeria has grown. The template of security has to be widening from what it used to be. Don't come here and tell us stories. People are aware of the things that has happened years ago. So if there was a Phaeton coup in those days, the Phaeton coup cannot happen today. We are too open. The space today was not the space yesterday. The information web last year or years ago are not the information web we have today. We have to upgrade our systems dramatically to where we want to go to. Now we don't have a destination because they don't have a portfolio to contain what is intelligent informations. So they do a more of eye service, what we call rebooting services, which disconnect the administrators, the executives from the money, from the people. We are disconnecting from the people. They don't know. And that is why a lot of people don't give information to the services. Because you already disconnected yourself from them.
A young man has just now been charged for certain things he had posted on social media, saying that the APC, which is obviously the ruling party in Nigeria today, should be removed, saying unprintable things about Nigeria, and of course the DSS has put all of these out as well. When things like that happen, how much of threats does it pose? Are we supposed to be concerned or simply wave it all off and say, well, it's simply a social media post?
To all I have heard, the young man is just 27 years old. And because our security basic principles have not gotten adequate input on psychology, then that is where we are lacking in issues like this. Who is this young man? What is his crowd? What it is rich? What does he have? And it is shocking that it is even the DSS. I don't know. They said the DSS is under the presidency. And this is why we have a lot of duplications. They are secret police. They do information intelligence. Their own is intelligent gathering, dissimulation, and bring it back to the basic actors and operators. The synergy here is 40. The NIA is under Foreign Affairs. The SSS are under the presidency. The police is under the Ministry of Police Affairs. The other sectors, which they call the paramilitary, are under the
internal affairs,
interior. Then we have the military in defense, and even in defense, we now have defense intelligence and military intelligence. So let's look at it. Why all these intelligence protocols, which are organizations? So even in defense, we have defense intelligence. We have military intelligence. We have NIA in foreign affairs. Are they supposed to be this way? So where is the synergy? And these are the reasons why I have always been advocating for security laws. And there is no security law anywhere. Then come back again to the National Security Advisor's office. Office of the National Security Advisor. So when you look at these wider groups, how will you scrutinize it? That's where the problem is. So is SSS, are they supposed to gather information, act on intelligence, investigate, and prosecute? In what area are you doing this? You have already exposed yourself. They are not supposed to be known, but they are known everywhere. So in a theater of operations, you are already in difficulties, and the synergy is not an atom of synergy any longer, because everybody is open. So till we have these security laws and placements, modalities, then we will be where we are today. So to the young man, I don't think we call for this drama, but I think the security system now is, every security organization is looking for one reason to create a scene.
Of what value is that to Nigerians?
Yeah, but because if you don't have what to give, you look for one propaganda to cover up. We have more difficult challenges than all this looking for ants where lions and elephants are treading on. So you couldn't see what to do, so you look for one. So that will last, the trading will last for some time. Nobody is talking of the people arrested for alleged coup plot any longer. We are not looking for one young man, and after the young man issue calms down, another security organization will look for another one to cover up.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, because if you watch it, there is a claim that if you even want to look at the coup, there is a claim that says that the NDDC MD was arrested because some money passes through him to Sylvia.
Yeah, the former Bayelsa State Governor.
Yeah. Now, the NDDC MD is working freely. The military men are still in detention. They said they are looking for Sylvia, not the military only declaring him wanted. EFCC is already declaring him wanted.
For two different issues.
Where was the EFCC all this while? No, where were they? No, let's be very frank to ourselves. Where were the EFCC all this while? They did not raise alarm that he also have issues of economic and financial crime.
Yes.
Is it only when they now brought the issue of this thing that EFCC is now saying that he has issue of financial crime? We should look at these things and know that we are just playing, creating just scenes when we are supposed to look at the normal thing that is happening. Instead of going to the root of the problem, we are cutting out leaves. We are not even going to the branches, not to talk of the stem, not to talk of the roots. We are cutting out just leaves to create some unnecessary tension. That is just what we are doing.
It appears there's so much of tension in the country right now. Just 2 days ago, we saw a video go viral across this country and far beyond of the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, and a young naval officer in a very heated argument. Much of that heat coming from Mr. Wike himself. There are people who say that that was not only embarrassing, it was also ill-timed, given that at this point in time, we have so much of frail nerves across the country. In other words, things are really heated up. And as such, what we should be focused on at this point as a country and as a people is to see how we can calm nerves and then continue to have stability politically and otherwise in our country. Let's talk about the implication of that development beyond all of the hula baloo we're seeing on the social media.
We give appointments to people just because they are close to some certain people, not because of their classifications. We all know who Wike is. But let's look at him as a minister. There was a period I said that when you are being given or being appointed as an executive, you are supposed to go through about 2 weeks or 1 month orientation before you get to your office. If these orientations are being given to them, I think they will have known better what to do, but they don't go through any orientation.
How about the retreats that ministers usually go to just upon appointment?
No, what retreats? I don't remember them going to it.
There was one.
The people who goes to retreats normally are actually the legislators.
There was one. I mean, this Wike set of ministers were appointed or inaugurated on the 21st of August of 2023. By September, just a few days after that inauguration, they had gone for retreats. I can remember very well the immediate past national chairman of the party, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, was also at that retreat. Of course, the president himself was at that retreat. So, are you saying we need more than that?
A retreat is a tea party to me. A retreat is not going to vigorous training to know what you are going to do. Is the minister, for example, is he an enforcer?
So that was an error?
Yes. Is he an enforcer? Is there no delegation of duties in the FCT? A minister is a representative of Mr. President, running Mr. President's agenda in various sectors. A minister is not an enforcer. That is one. Two, we should know that we should demarcate the rules of civilians and the military. That is why sometimes I say the rules are being contradicted because most of them don't know their rules. The Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps were actually brought in by Obasanjo because we were coming from military rule into civilian rule. And they are supposed to be an intermediary between the military and the civilians. That is why they call it the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. But that is not the duty they are performing today. They are on guide duties. So when you look at the whole system, everybody just wants to say, I work with Mr. Mr. Governor, Mr. Minister, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, this DG, that National Security Advisor, without adequate training. The security advisor of Wike, the security details of Wike are supposed to be reprimanded because they are supposed to tell him, sir, let's have a retreat honorably. The military are here. The issue of Wike is, the problem Wike is arrogant, boastful, and pompous. And he does not exercise decorum. The military goes with, the civilians goes with rules and laws. The military goes with honorable orders. These are two different things. The military are defenders. So you must know the military very well. Anywhere in the world, you should know that a uniformed person is a persona non grata. Whether he's a commissioned officer or not a commissioned officer. These are the things the legislators, the executives in Nigeria don't know. It is only in Nigeria we have the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
But isn't that the case in the US too?
No, the US is Mr. President.
But formally, is that not how he's addressed? He's the one that gives the command
No,
to...
if it is the command troop,
Right.
when Donald Trump pronounced that he's going to take Nigeria as a country of particular concern and is going to invade Nigeria, he would have done it. He can't do it. Because the defense secretary, the chief of staff, all will question him. In what authority are you sending us there? And where is the budget and allocation coming from? He can't do it.
But if Nigeria were to tow that same path, I mean, if you switched places, that also will be the standard procedure for us as well.
No, he's the commander-in-chief of armed forces. So if that is the procedure, they won't have raided OD. They won't have gone to Zakibia.
But those were some. I mean, they were very unique circumstances. Again, looking at the person of former President Olusegun Obasanjo.
No, there is no unique circumstance. What was the offense of the Zakibia's people, and what was the offense of the OD people? Is it because nobody wants to talk about it? Why should you raid a whole town? What was the real offense of OD, and what was the real offense of Zakibia? We throw away some larges just because it did not happen to you. How will Obasanjo feel if somebody ordered for the raid of his village? How? With civilian casualties and everywhere. Is it because we don't prosecute anybody? So that is what we are talking of. We carry so many weights because we don't know military history, we don't know defense mechanisms, we don't know the military operations, we don't know the strategies, we don't know the order protocols. There's an order of protocol, and there's an order of ejection, there's order of varieties. There is different procedures to this. So, but we are in a society where people default, and because of their executive positions or because of their peculiarity of money bags, They are money bags. Nobody touched them. They are untouchable.
All right, let's begin to, end this conversation now, Prof. As it stands today, what are, from what you know, some specific security concerns that, well, substantially threaten our democracy, and how can government and the people win that, surmount those challenges?
In order of security, if you want to look at security as a whole, the first order of security is citizen and human rights. We have not even gotten to finish that first protocol of security. The second protocol is the business and economic security. Because if there is an economic imbalance and business are not thriving, then the society is, everybody will agitate. In the 70s, when after the oil boom days and the rest, I think nobody cares whether you are a local government chairman, a councillor, a state house of or whatever, a commissioner. Nobody. Nobody, because there was enough to go around. So you keep it up. That is not the same thing today, because we have not been able to upgrade. We have not been able to come up with new ideas that would drive the economy, that would drive the business template, that would drive my welfare and my security. These are the things you also look at. The next chapter of security is political security. That we have not even started, because we don't have a political party. We have a political platform. So we have to address these issues if we are actually operating a democracy. To me, we are not operating a democracy. We are operating an autocratic system of government.
That sounds serious.
Interfacing it with the name democracy to bury up our shames.
As it stands today, there are people who believe that what Nigeria should do with the US right now is not to be confrontational. Of course, the Nigerian government has said repeatedly that political and diplomatic channels have been opened so there can be effective engagement with the United States. However, there are also those who are saying we should be humble enough to ask for help from the US. How much of help should we be asking for, and what kind of help, in 1 minute?
I have said it severally that Nigeria is a nation, not an independent nation.
So we're not a sovereign state, is that what it means?
We are not a sovereign state. Quote me anywhere. We are not a sovereign state. Until we become sovereign state, become an independent nation, people will still actually say we need help, and somebody elsewhere should come and assist us.
Is that an aberration?
We buy foreign things that are for security use, that are actually coded by them, which we don't have any authority over. So all our information still go back to them. So they have more information than we do. Where do we buy our wares from? So why can't we see that we have technologists, we have engineers, we have scientists in Nigeria that will sit down and build our system for us? Whether they are going to call them inferior, everything leaves inferior to superior. In everything we have in the world, even in our personal relationships, even relationships with our spouse, it is two people. Relationship is actually building imperfection to perfection. Even America did not get it right in 1772, 74. They have not even gotten it right till today.
But they have improved significantly.
So why can't we start with our inferiority?
And continue to make progress.
And make progress. But because we don't have a template.
Incidentally, Prof, I am afraid that this is the much time would allow us talk about on the program. But again, we'll keep an eye out to see where this development is heading. We'd like to appreciate you for your time and all of the thoughts that you shared on the program today. We're taking a break now, everyone. When we return, my colleague Ramsey and I will wrap up Global Morning for you. Do stay with us.
Thank you.